Hey guys, welcome back to We Watched a Movie. I am Mike. Thanks for taking a moment of your day to spend it with me. And today we're talking about a show that you guys have been talking about, saying that we need to watch for a while now, and it's called From My Ass. No, it's just called From, and it's a terrible name for a show. Absolutely. And it's also hard to access sometimes. It's on MGM Plus, which is it's not actually that hard to access. At first, you're just like, I'm not paying for another damn streaming service. But it's pretty easy to do. You just go inside of Amazon Prime if you have Prime, and you can just get it there, or you can add the MGM app itself. But it's like $5.99, and when you think about it, 2 seasons of a show, plus they have a bunch of movies and crap like that on there that you can check out as well. So it's worth it in my opinion. I mean, you pay $4 to rent a movie, and you can get this watched easily in a month if you want to. But so that's how you watch the show. But I feel like there's a reason why the show is so underrated and so untalked about. Or at least by, it seems like, the media or anywhere. Like, I have a bunch of people I see all the time on Facebook and our YouTube chats everywhere. Like, you guys got to check this out. Please let us know what you think. I've probably seen it 10 to 12 times. And I just saw an ad or an article on Facebook that was like, the show that's too scary for people to watch. So I feel like it's gaining traction. Now, I've only watched the first season. That's the only thing I'm reviewing right now. I'm going to do a whole review for the second season of it. But I had to do a video on it. Just finished it and finished the first episode of season 2, full frontal male nudity. Not in the show. I'm just saying that's what I say when I'm being honest. Like, you know, full disclosure. We say full frontal male nudity because there's nothing more honest than a swinging wiener in your face. But no, my point is this. This show is amazing in my opinion. For those of you who, there's going to be 2 people I'm talking to, people who have seen Lost and people who have not seen Lost. This show is Lost with only first season vibes of Lost. You remember when you were watching that show for the first time and the before we found out that the giant scary thing in the woods was just a damn smoke monster? Before we found out that it was just a smoke monster, that stuff was scary as hell because you just see the leaves move and you see this giant thing moving towards them and you don't know what it is, and the mystery and the intrigue's all there, and it's awesome. That's this show, and they never turn it into a smoke monster. So basically there's this section of town where it's this little town. It's like a super American town. There's like a diner, there's a street of houses, and then there's one big house like at the end of it, and they have like a post office. It's basically one street with all the accoutrement of a small town on it, but it looks like a sort of old ghost town. People from all over the world, for whatever reason, we haven't found out yet, will be driving with their families, by themselves, with their friends, drunk, high, whoever, everybody in the world, different types of people. Certain people, for some reason, come up across a tree down in a road and they see a crow. And the next thing they know, they are stuck on this one road in this town and there's no getting out of it. You could drive in a circle, you could drive all around, and it's just like in the mouth of madness. You go out one end, you just pop back in the other. There's no escaping it. Then come to find out that at night, these creatures who come out and they look like human beings, like freaky human beings with stupid smiles on their faces, basically like that dude in The Purge, just these people walking around, Homo erectus, and that just means on 2 legs. It's fun to say. If they get a hold of you, if they get in your home, they literally eat you. And I mean, when I say eat you, it's like with the ferocity of a vampire, but they leave the bodies there and the entire meat from the midsection's gone and there's just ribs poking out and they eat their faces and it's just gnarly as shit. And they do it fast too. It's not like a zombie and it's not like a vampire. It's just like they just kind of like it's like a velociraptor. The fuck is a velociraptor? It's like a velociraptor in Jurassic Park. I mean, it's just fucking, it's in, out, get in, get out, get away.
This is what happens when you break the rules.
We gotta get out of this place.
They eat your ass whole. That's with a WH, not just an H. Not the way that most people prefer. That's what's most intriguing about it as a whole, is we don't know what they are. They're not vampires. They're not zombies. They just have so many levels to them. And as the show goes on, they are more capable of doing certain things, get inside people's heads, tricking people to let them in. And total Stephen King vibes, by the way, throughout this entire thing, as well as Lost. It's definitely the horror version of Lost. And where Lost fell apart was they ran out of stuff to do, so they just started throwing crazy shit at you and really just like diverting you and telling you all these crazy backstories and then doing time travel. It just really never felt like they knew where they were going, whether they did or not. This show doesn't feel that way. It feels different. They do dangle the carrot in front of your stick, I don't, you know what I mean, right? He threw a shoe at me. They do dangle the carrot in front of you a little bit. There's a couple stuff like, oh my God, I have to know what's in that fucking hatch type situations, but it doesn't feel cheap. In this version where the scares are there too, and it's actually freaky as shit, and all of a sudden you'll be, the second you get bored, some crazy gnarly horror scene will happen, and you're like, I'm scared. And for those of you who have just watched the first part of it, as you get further towards the end of the season, it 1000% gets scarier, and there's more action in it as well.
They're coming.
There's only so many places we can go.
I get a feeling this is one of those shows people may watch a couple episodes of and be like, it's not that the first episodes are bad, but the second half of the first season to me, specifically episode 8, 9, and 10, is where shit gets fucking crazy. And the way it ends at the end of the season, no spoilers, of course, it opens up, though, a whole new treasure chest of fuck. And it gets actually scary for me. It was entertaining scary the first half of the season. By the end of the first season, it actually turned into a different kind of scary. It was actually like, I'm actually freaked out right now, Sarah. Please just give me a fucking minute. Give me some space. A lot of the show deals with the interweavings of these characters in like a Stephen King sort of way, you know? And the way that they've dealt this and the way that they've handled this has all been led by the hero of the show, which is Harold Perrineau, who was actually in Lost, which is the weird thing, and he's basically the Jack of this show. Watching him interact with all the characters, he's amazing in this show, by the way. Every single character in this has this crazy backstory, and every once in a while, they'll touch on the Lost thing where they'll show you a flashback of their previous life, but for the most part, they really chill on that because they know. It's like Eminem when he came out with Not Afraid. He's like, I'm not going to do the accents anymore, just every once in a while. Everybody just has such a deep emotional backstory. The show makes you laugh. The show makes you cry. The show is scary as hell at certain points. And the best part about it, of course, is the mystery of it all. Figuring out what's going on, because it's not just these things at night. There's several other layers to this going on, much like in a Stephen King spectacular, but like in a good way. There is so much happening and so much intrigue and so much of J.J. Abrams and his fucking mystery box going on in this show. It's crazy. But again, it all feels less commercial and less, you know, you're fucking with me, aren't you, Greg, than Lost did.
Please don't.
A man protects his family.
And the characters are just, you like them a lot. There's some characters that you hate. There are some characters you hate, but they all have interesting backstories to them. You've got this Silicon Valley dude who shows up like tripping ecstasy balls, and he's a great character. David Alpay is how you say his name. He shows up and he's a huge asshole to everybody, but he's like, you little stupid fucksticks. Why is nobody trying to figure out how the hell to get out of here? Because these people have just kind of set up shop at this point. A lot of them have resigned themselves to what they have here. And there's so much weird stuff too, like livestock comes out of the woods and they don't know where it comes from, but they can't go into the woods because that's where the things are. I don't know what TV shows get, whether they get Emmys or whatever, but Harold Perrineau's character is just fucking amazing in this. I absolutely recommend almost any horror fan to watch this. I will say, I think the hype may trip people up a little bit with this, because it's one of those shows you go into, you're like, all right, this better be fucking awesome. You know what I mean? When you hear so much about it through word of mouth. But give it a few episodes, because I enjoyed it at first. I didn't really get the hype, but a few episodes in, I was like, oh, I need to know what fucking happens next week. Totally recommend it. I give the first season a 9 out of 10. Again, there's a couple slow down moments. There's a couple of characters that get on your nerves. Like there's this one couple and their daughter's constantly like, why didn't you ever love me? And you're like, shut the fuck up. We're dealing with fucking people eating people and we're stuck here. Nobody cares about your shit right now, Sarah. There's a couple characters that get on your nerves, but it's almost perfect. I love it. And fuck, one episode into season 2, holy shit ball salads. I can't wait to see where it goes. It's only getting better. So comment down below if you guys have not seen this. If you have seen it, what is the show that you watched that you just feel like nobody understood the way that you did, that you just love the shit out of? For me, it'd be Lights Out, which was a boxing show on FX with the dude from The Murder Show with David Fincher. But anyways, this is going to be the show for a lot of people. Just people screaming from the streets, please watch Lost. And their friends like, nah, just because you asked me to, I don't think I will. But hey, Patreon is still free. You can get a 7-day free trial of our Patreon right now. in the little box below. We just did commentaries for every single episode of Scream. The last one's coming up soon, and tons more, over 50 movie commentaries, over 50 live streams, just crazy shit, all for free. I love your fucking faces. Hope you guys have an amazing day. Halloween never ends. Suck my fucking dick, and I don't really care what Blumhouse fucking says. Put him in a box or suck a fucking cock. You can say he's dead, but we all know he's not. Yeah. So let's go trick-or-treating, let's go fucking drinking, let's all go rent Pumpkinhead on VHS, cause Halloween never ends.